Gen 4 cars in the Lone Star State. Aiden Norman, the defending champion, on the front row, accompanied by Noah Belleville. The guys on the front row are the only guys that have won races this season. Race number 5 in the calendar. We're about to get moving here. Norman leading this one in that big-ass 62 on the left-hand side. Noah Belleville on the outside, pace car about to peel off. Getting ready to get the party started, and we're so glad you could be here with us. 140 laps of competition from Texas Motor Speedway. Green flag is out. Donald Ray in that 5 just sits ahead of Toby Estes and the blinking Noah Belleville in that second position. Aiden Norman leads lap number 1 of competition. Matt Kent on the outside of Nick Pressey in that number 94. Almost looks like a old school Winnipeg Jets paint scheme. Classic in that 94. The number 3 of Cody Riggs in the Jim Beam machine to the inside of Briley, right to the outside. Down that back straight, the 2-9 almost making contact with the 3 again, left and right. Down that back straight, they keep on wrestling for that position. Right in the 2-9 has Tom Sears behind him. Noah Belleville goes purple, fastest lap with a 2:9.70 up on the clock. Rookie Brandon Fetter place in that 34, sitting ahead of the 2-4. Richie Catania, that is. Norman continues to lead up in that 6-2. And we're also talking about the Vikings-Eagles tonight. I think the Eagles just recovered possession. Turn that down. Nobody needs to hear that. The 1-0 Eagles up against the 0-1 Vikings. Eagles are up 3-0. Norman crosses the line, up ahead by 0.6 of a second, and then it's pretty close all the way back through here. Jimmy Kerr, the third involved in a battle. He's got Jake Baker behind him. Nicky Simpson in that Cole Trickle-esque paint scheme. The 46 City Chevrolet sitting in the 16th position as Norman goes purple. Again, 29.49. Belleville has Ray starting to fall away, while Donald Ray, the Texas winner in Season 4, has Thomas Andrews behind him, the Season 4 champion. Andrews squeezed behind Ray and Estes, and Matt Kent in that 6th position. Single file so far. 4 more drivers just went green that last time around, including Nicholas Simpson and Jake Baker. Tommy Withers in the number 6 Valvoline Taurus also went green. Their personal bests, as did Toby Estes in the 8. He's got a front row seat to Thomas Andrews on the inside of Donald Ray. Andrew sitting in that 3rd position, Toby Estes in 4th. Car starting to fan out behind him. John Honeybrink sitting in 15th, losing control down that back straight, trying to get just a bit closer up to Cody Riggs. Riggs in the 3 had a couple of incidents last week. He's looking to do a bit better. He might have a lick on Cody McFadden, who took a lick on the right front corner. Take a look at the 6-4 car. Oh, there's definitely a corner pushed in on the iBuyPower Chevrolet. He's got Jason Alexander up ahead. And at the front of this race, Aiden Norman with a 1.6 second gap to this driver here, Noah Belleville. Season 4 champion Thomas Andrews sits in third. Tom Sears about a second behind Briley Wright. He's got Brandon Fetterplace coming up behind him now down that back straight. McFadden in 6'4" to the inside of Nicholas Pressey in that 94. Let's go on board with one of Brooklyn's finest. Cody Riggs now filling the space up behind Nicholas Pressey. John Honeybrink in the 2-0 Home Depot Pontiac wants to try it around the outside. Further on back, Elrich George from Nassau in the Bahamas, about 1 second behind Jimmy Kerr the third in the 75 car. Nick Simpson has company. Here comes the 6 of Withers. Toby Estes gets around Thomas Andrews. That's the move for third. Norman still 1.7 seconds ahead, and Noah Belleville in second. These two have lit up the first 5 races of the series. Aiden Norman winning the season opener at Phoenix. Noah Belleville winning the next 2 races, and then back to Norman winning round 4 last week at Kentucky, and here he is in the Big Ass Fans 62 Charger leading the race, and guess who's in second? Noah Belleville. Riley right now working on Matthew Kent. Let's ride on board for this battle. This is for 6th. How's that for a close-up? Matt Kent still holding on to that 6th spot, but Briley Wright looks like he might just have him down the back. And Tom Sears getting a front row seat to all of this. Cody Riggs now looking to work on Jason Alexander while Nick Pressey sits behind him. Richie Catania in that 2-4, the Central Floridian now filling up the space behind Pressey. Further on back, Jake Baker working on Nicky Simpson. A couple of rookies this year, both from the eNASCAR Elite Association. ENEA in their 4th season right now. Jason Alexander falling off the mark. John Honeybrink now looking to get to the inside of Tommy Withers. Everybody trading spots and trying to stay off that wall. Honeybrink to the inside. Side by side with Nicky Simpson now. Honeybrink traveling up that racetrack. Simpson just trying to hold his line. These cars have so much horsepower. They are sitting sideways through this racetrack. Simpson still working on the 46 car. And that's probably going to be a battle we're going to see all day long. Nicky Simpson now finds room to the inside of Tommy Withers in that 46. If you've just tuned in, 19 laps of caution-free racing are underway at Texas. Grandma Jeannie in the house cheering for Aiden Norman. Haven't seen Andrew Sauer in a minute cheering on for Nicholas Simpson. Here's another Nicholas, Pressey in that 94. He's in 11th. There's 10th place, Brandon Fetter place. He's working on Cody McFadden. Up ahead, Matthew Kent now on the outside. Two-time champion Tom Sears goes to the left-hand side of the 31. That's going to be the move for 7th. '14 of Tom Sears still ahead. Donald Ray ahead of Thomas Andrews. That's 4th and 5th you're looking at. Matt Kent still has Sears hanging around. Here goes the American pitcher from Taiwan to the inside of that 14. Almost there. And that battle continues to rage on. Jason Alexander behind Tommy Withers. John Honeybrink also playing with Jimmy Kerr III. And here comes New Jersey's Tristan Catania trying to fill in that room. Listen to Catania just cut the throttle off. He is saving fuel already, playing the long game. We'll see how this works out for him today. Just love to hear that rhythm. Tristan getting into it. He's sitting in 19th right now. Aiden Norman with a big blink. He's back to the top of the tree. Donald Ray sitting in 4th and pulling away. Who's this up into the wall? That's Toby Estes, one of those Bluegrass Bandits. Is he possibly losing ground? The gap between him and Ray has been shrinking over the last several laps. That 5 car is going to be right in the rearview mirror of the 8. You can see how sideways these race cars are. It's so hard for them to control it, and you have to love the skill that goes into that as well. Estes sitting in that 3rd spot. Matt Kent sitting in 9th. Brandon Fetter placed right behind him. And here comes Nick Pressey, who wants a piece of them all. Getting a piece of that Vikings-Eagles game right now as well. Eagles up 3-0. 11:20 in that second quarter. Vikings have the ball. Big throw to the right side of the field. First down. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Vikings with just over 11 seconds to go in that second quarter. And I have no idea about football. I know the teams. I don't know individual players. So I'm probably going to be asking you in the chat at one point or another to help me out with these players here. Jake Baker in that 17 right behind Jason Alexander in that number 9 on board. That's Nick Simpson in the wall, back across the racetrack. Richie Catania avoids him. Simpson stays glued to the wall. We stay green, and you saw Jason Alexander hit the white line. He just had to check up hard, and Nicky Simpson in the City Chevrolet Impala now has to pull it down into the pits. Let's see what happened to Simpson. That was a crazy period of time there. Fetter Place looks like he's also in the pits as well. Simpson already in the wall by this point. Have a look. It's probably a lap prior. You can see Simpson already got loose. Already just got himself loose out of the second corner there. Still keeping it in one piece. And by this point, Simpson's already lost it. Not really going to be able to see what happened to Simpson here. Oh, there he goes. He does get into that turn 2 wall. How about Tommy Withers just avoiding him? Simpson flying right back across the racetrack. See if we can get just one more look here, but I want to see the hands of Nick Simpson. And we're too far back, but that's all right. We'll revisit it if we have a chance, but it looks like Simpson used a fast repair. Noah Belleville did something because he just went purple. 29:35 for the driver of the 15. In the middle of a pit stop cycle right now, Tom Sears being scored as the race leader. And Sears has really been throwing the dice on going as far as he can on fuel every single time, and he seems to get closer with it. But the tires have got to be wearing at an extreme rate. Coming out of that fourth corner, Tom Sears crosses the line in the lead, and the clock says his last time around, 32:39. Aiden Norman, who just pitted, he has yet to put in a fast lap, but Noah Belleville just went 29:34. Sears in grand control of his race car, but these Gen 4 cars are slipping all sorts of directions here. The ARC's Supra has Toby Estes go around the outside, and Sears can hold on no longer. Leader Tom Sears comes in for 4 tires and fuel. He's going to get it sideways right before the pits, but he saves it. 50 miles an hour on the way in, and if that doesn't tell you just how hard it is to control these race cars, there's a 2-time champion losing control. And what is the old saying from DW? He wrecked. He just didn't hit anything. Aiden Norman, he pitted on lap 30, coming to take that lead. Update on that Vikings-Eagles game. They just went up 7-3. Put it in the chat. Let me know who you're rooting for, whether it's the Vikings, the Eagles, how you think this game is going to turn out. And if you're a fan of the game, I'm going to have you help me out, figure out who's who here, because I've got one eye on the race, one eye on this game. The Vikings now to kick it off. 10:39 left in the second. And big boot that's going to fly through the end zone, and it'll be a touchback for the Eagles. So Noah Belleville continues to lead. Brandon Fetterplace goes green. Cody McFadden goes green. How about Matt Kent and Nick Pressey? Green. These drivers putting in their fastest laps. Something happened to Briley Wright in the 2.9. Did he fall off the racetrack? Check this out. Right into the wall. Loses control right in front of Nick Simpson. Whew. How do you like that? See if we can get just one more look. Possibly just smack the wall out of turn number 4. There it is. Heavy scrape. Nick Simpson cleverly gets out of the throttle. Briley Wright bounces along the grass on the front straight. And he's back up to racing shape, coming up behind Cody McFadden. 4 more drivers just went green. Sears, Baker, Withers, Jaco in that incorrectly numbered 9, but we'll get that fixed. No worries. Nick Simpson sitting in 19th. Elrich George, who's in 18th. He pitted on lap 31. He just went green. The track is getting faster. Tom Sears in that 14. He's in the 13th position. You can hear he's cutting the engine. Sears saving fuel as well. Let's go on board and have a listen. 19 cars remain on the lead lap. Eagles just pick up a first down, 9 minutes and change. Nope, they did not. I have no idea how this game goes. Tom Sears looks like he's going to be sandwiched between Honeybrink and Riggs. 3 wide down the back, straight with Jake Baker to aid. And almost a little bit of contact. Sears will split them up the middle. Will he or won't he? He just can't get behind Riggs. But they all keep it together in one piece down that front straight. Jake Baker giving up the 11th position to Tom Sears. Cody Riggs holds on to the back end of the top 10. And John Honeybrink will just fall back and let them fight it out down the back straight. Tom Sears on the outside. He makes a little bit of contact with the outside wall. Cody Riggs right there as well. Tommy Withers coming up behind Jake Baker on board now with the Virginian in the number 6. Withers to the inside, singing at 9,000 RPMs. Eagles with the ball on the 46-yard line. Just under 8 minutes ticking down in this second quarter. Their own 46. They're going to run it up the gut, and they'll make it out to the 48. So it's probably going to be 2nd and 6 or 7 with 7.5 minutes counting down. Norman still leads in that big-ass Charger. He's coming up behind Elrich George, who's in 18th, looking to put him a lap down and leave Jimmy Kerr as the last car on the lead lap. Tom Sears went green again, 29.78. Quick math will tell you Tom Sears will end up pitting on lap 66, Aiden Norman on lap 60. And then I won't work out the math from here because it's incredibly complicated. But 43 laps have gone underway, caution-free from the Legacy Texas configuration. Cody Riggs making way for Jake Baker in that 1-7. Marlboro Monte Carlo gets to the inside of that Jim Beam Monte Carlo, and the Ford Taurus of Tommy Withers sits behind him. Side by side down that front straight, they'll drag race across the line, and it will be Riggs by a nose for the 11th spot. Tristan Catania's making gains as well. He just went green, 29.98 last time around. This time 30.22, but he's coming up behind Nick Simpson for the 19th position. Simpson has to lift. He didn't last time, and he almost caused a massive wreck, but it was a one-man accident down that straight. Nicky Simpson running in 19th. Tristan Catania gets away with the 18th spot. Back to Tommy Withers. He gets around Cody Riggs, and he's still working on Jake Baker, but Riggs gets to the inside. He tries a crossover down the back straight, and it's just so tough to put the power down. Check it out. Almost some contact there between Baker and Withers. They both come out clean on the other side. Withers will send it in deep after Baker gets loose in the 17. Baker gives Withers the room. The Virginian puts his tires right on that white line, comes right up to the 17 car. Jake Baker stays ahead for the 13th position. That was sketchy. Eagles continue to march down the field. It's going to be 2nd and 10 with 4:58 remaining in this second quarter. Vikings leading 7-3. Tommy Withers making some contact with the outside wall there in that number 6. And more than some, you can see the scrape on that race car. Eagles on the Vikings 32-yard line. Snap from the shotgun, going to be a throw out to the right-hand side. And somebody tell me, who's an Eagles fan? Tell me who number 11 is. I don't watch enough football to know, but it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Eagles. A.J. Brown, apparently. All right, so a little bit of a slant to A.J. Brown. He's going to run up the middle. And it's going to be 1st and 10 on the Eagles, on the Vikings, 20-something, I'm sorry. Matt Kent on the outside of Cody McFadden. That's going to be for the 6th spot. They're getting a little closer out of the corner. Kent keeps his line. McFadden keeps his line. And they both march on happily down that back straight. Tommy Withers finally gets a little bit of peace and quiet. Jake Baker has left him in the 13th position, and Cody Riggs is up ahead in 12th. Kent and McFadden, however, still close. When did they let players start wearing the number 0 in football? Must have been recently, right? I didn't think you could wear number 0. Number 20 for TNT, John Honeybrink in the Home Depot Pontiac. Back out onto the racetrack. Run up by number 0 for the Eagles. It's going to be 1st and goal on the Vikings 4-yard line. Eagles still up 7-3 with 3:30 counting down in the second quarter. Honeybrink in the 21st position. Aiden Norman in the 1st position, several laps ahead with a 4-second gap back to Noah Belleville. And then it's 5 seconds back to Toby Estes. And then from Toby Estes, 4 1/3 seconds back to Thomas Andrews. So all of the top 4 separated by 4 seconds. Matt Kent, however, separated by a 1/10. Nick Pressey behind him, and Cody McFadden now filling in the gap. 2nd and goal for the Eagles, just passing the 3-minute mark. Halftime approaches. Briley right behind his Bluegrass Bandit teammate. Cody Riggs in 11th. Briley rounds out the top dozen. Looks like a quarterback sneak, and it will... No idea. Waiting for the judge to say something. It might be 3rd and goal if they didn't make it. Timeout by the Vikings. So Aiden Norman continues to lead. Surprise. Nick Pressey within 4/10 to Cody McFadden. And further on back, Tommy Withers getting up close to Briley Wright. As a matter of fact, over the last 5 laps, Withers has really been catching up to Briley. Let's go on board with that 6 again. Something has gone on with that 2.9. Jason Alexander will then take the spot away from Wright. And here comes Elrich George to move on 15th. Really unlike Briley to be so off the pace. Let's go on board and see if we can see if he's under control with this race car. Just trying to get a hold of it. Jalen Hurts gets a hold of a touchdown. Another quarterback sneak there. 16 plays, 75 yards, 7 and some minutes. And the Eagles have another touchdown. So that's what, 9-7 now with the extra point coming up? Just before the 2-minute warning. 56 laps underway from iRacing's Texas. Aiden Norman continues to lead while Matt Kent is working on Cody McFadden. Brandon Fetterplace now working on Donald Ray. Jason Alexander working on Tommy Withers. And Alexander to the left-hand side of that 6 car. The 40 of Elrich George to the inside of the 6 car as well. and the extra point is good for the Eagles. 10-7 with 2:44 to go, and the Vikings about to get the ball. Withers tucks in behind George. He's in 15th. Here comes Aiden Norman to put them both a lap down. Nick Pressey looks like he's coming in on lap 57. This is earlier than expected. Donald Ray is also in with him too. The tires just not enough for these drivers, and watch the floodgates open. Expect Aiden Norman to come within the next few laps. What is Tom Sears going to do? Is he still saving gas in his car? Listen. You bet. Sears in 8th. Belleville decides he's going to come in, and he'll park his Napa machine. Nicky Simpson down the back straight. Looks like he's finally gotten a hold of his race car, while Nicky Pressey is out on the racetrack. The number 94 has to be careful not to drift high onto the racing surface, get himself a black flag. That is a loose race car, but Simpson makes it out. Thomas Andrews up to the 3rd spot. The now married Thomas Andrews. So congratulations to Andrews. Mazel tov to the Andrews family as well. Is that what you say during a wedding? Mazel tov? But anyway, he's married. So congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Andrews. May your Thursday nights be filled with love and speed. Tommy sits 3rd right now. What am I saying? Cody McFadden's in that 4th position. Briley Wright into the pits from 16th. And if you've just tuned in, 60 laps have gone without interruption by a yellow flag. Cody Riggs. Cody Riggs is in 7th. Toby Estes is the car we're looking at. He's leading this race in that 3 doors down Budweiser Chevy. How long is he going to wait? Nicky Simpson in the wall again. Is he trying to make his way into the pits? No. Estes will stay out. Thomas Andrews 6.7 seconds behind the leader. Aiden Norman back out onto the racing surface. He's got tires, he's got fuel, he's got a huge advantage to give up, but look at Belleville on the outside. This is potentially the race for the lead. Noah Belleville on the outside of Aiden Norman. Tristan Catania used as a pick. They will split him. They will make contact. Belleville's in the wall. Norman gets around him in one piece. Belleville keeps it moving. Tristan Catania survives as well. And look at Catania getting up into the 15 of Noah Belleville. Catania losing all sorts of control with that race car. Honeybrink now behind him. Mama Vols in the chat. How you doing, Mama Vols? Send my love to the family back in Tennessee. What in the world? Catch your breath. Tristan Catania finally coming down into the pits. That was hairy. Check this out. Here's Catania coming up the racetrack, almost into Noah Belleville. Here's the pass out of 4. Watch this. They will split Tristan Catania. Belleville will get in the wall. There's contact from Norman, so Norman, fresh out of pit road, has damage. Jason Alexander comes out of the pits. Luckily, he's not involved. And one more look. Check this out. Almost contact again, and by some grand show of skill, these drivers did not get in a crash. Tristan Catania rejoins the racing surface. Aiden Norman is in 2nd. He doesn't look to be running that bad at all. Noah Belleville, 3 100ths behind him, but what's going to happen with the damage on the front of that 62? You can hear that he's saving gas as well. I think the 2-minute warning just passed for that Eagles-Vikings game. Mama Vols, put it in the chat. You got Eagles or Vikings in tonight's game? Let me know what's up. Tom Sears leading by 8.3 seconds. He has yet to come down into the pits. Half a second now between Donald Ray And Brandon Fetterplace, the rookie who's sitting in 8th. John Honeybrink now trying to get around Cody Riggs. This is for 12th. Mama Vols has the Eagles in tonight's game. Well, they just scored, if you're keeping an eye on the game. Mama Vols up 10-7. And I think 2 minutes to go in this second quarter. Toby Estes just went green. 29.6 seconds as he gets around Jimmy Kerr the third. Nick Pressey about to be overtaken for 4th. Further on back, Elrich George giving way to Tristan Catania. And Jason Alexander gets around John Honeybrink. Andrews goes green, 29.77 for the New Jersey Pilot. Nick Pressey just ahead of Toby Estes. Will he give the Kentucky driver room? He does. Estes to the inside of Pressey, but he gets loose on that white line. He's going to have to work hard to keep that car in a straight line, and he does. Toby Estes up to 3rd. Nick Pressey pitting wildly early on lap 56. 68 laps underway in Thursday Night Thunder. Still 10-7, not back from break yet in that Eagles-Vikings game. Aiden Norman up 2.8 seconds on Noah Belleville, as has been the trend. Again, you saw Noah Belleville with a great chance to overtake Norman for the lead. Have another look. Belleville losing a ton of momentum, and Aiden Norman running away with first. 3 seconds now the gap. Jake Baker working on John Honeybrink. This is for 14th as Honeybrink taps the wall. Toby Estes gets around Baker. That's not for position. He remains in 3rd. Tom Sears on the inside of Briley Wright. This is for a spot in the top 10. Big throw for a first down right at the 49-yard line. A minute to go. Kirk Cousins trying to hurry things up for the Eagles, marching down, trying to get at least 3 more points before the half ends. John Honeybrink on the back end of Jimmy Kerr the third, 16th just up ahead. Tommy Withers holding on to 15th out of turn number 4. Cousins makes a throw, but it is not caught. It's going to be 2nd and 10 with 52 seconds remaining. Vikings around that 50-yard line. Matt Kent battling with Cody McFadden. This is for 4th. The rookie McFadden gets to the inside of the American pitcher. The iBuyPower Chevrolet to the inside of that Caterpillar Impala. Can Kent put the crossover on McFadden? No is the resounding answer, and Cody will run away with the 4th position. John Honeybrink giving Matt Kent the room to advance. Eagles 49-yard line, and the play clock expires. I don't know if anyone took a timeout, but it may be a delay of game for the Vikings. 73 laps underway. Catania just up ahead. He's gotten behind Kent. Elrich George gets around John Honeybrink, and the Bahamian is on the move as well. Catania now has to look in his mirror. Just past halfway, and if you've just tuned in, we've been caution-free for all 74 laps of action. Tommy Withers has Jake Baker behind him. This is for 14th. Cody McFadden with Matthew Kent behind him, and Tristan Catania trying to open the door, but not for position. Catania just trying to stay ahead of George in the 40. And a big blink from Tristan Catania, losing some sort of connection. Elrich George behind the 48. There's Tristan just getting to the inside of Kent. Still a loose connection from the 48. Huge blinks coming out. Matt Kent decides to protect his position and just let off the throttle. Those two can battle it out. Cody McFadden now on the outside of Nick Pressey. Pressey goes up the racetrack and forces McFadden to go down low. This is for position for the 4th spot. Nick Pressey sits ahead of McFadden. Catania on the move. These guys are on the move. 2 different races going on. The race for 4th and then the race for 17th. And any way you put it, the competition is fierce. Are they going to split McFadden? Oh, you almost thought for a moment they were going to go 3 wide out of turn 4. Sanity prevails again. And the 2 Caterpillar cars now nose to tail. Elrich George in the Cat Dodge and Matt Kent in the Cat Chevy. Andrews in that number 2. He's got Fetter Place just up ahead. This is 7th spot on the line. Second and 10 for the Eagles, for the Vikings on the Eagles 49. Cousins takes the snap from the shotgun, throw out to the side there. It's going to be a first down and then some to whoever number 17 is as he runs out of bounds. 46 seconds to go in this second quarter. And I don't know if the Eagles are yet within field goal range. The Eagles, oh my gosh, I'm going to mess this up. It's the Vikings that are trying to score. They're the ones trying to get into field goal range. They're going to be on the 36, it looks like, so they should be well within field goal range with 60 laps to go in this race. Nick Pressey still a part of this tight battle here. Matthew Kent to his inside. Cousins takes the snap. He drops. He's going to throw it all the way to the corner where there are no Vikings receivers. It's going to be 2nd and 10 on the Eagles 36. Vikings trying to score before the end of the half. Riley Wright behind Jason Alexander. These two duking it out for 12th. Alexander being scored as the 56. Paint scheme says 9. As soon as we get a break in the action, we'll fix that, but we haven't had a break in the action. Luckily, there's only one number 9 on the racetrack. It's Jason Alexander for now. The number 9 sits behind the 29 now. Riley Wright into that 12th position. Big throw out to the corner. Caught. Fumbled right before he broke the plane. Looks like Jefferson. Is that the 18 for the Vikings? So the ball was caught. To me, it didn't look like he broke the plane to score a touchdown, but it's definitely going to be 1st and goal for the Vikings at the 3 or 4 yard line. It looks like the referees are now debating whether or not it was a catch. And I definitely, if I don't even know who the players are in the NFL, I'm not going to understand if this is a catch or not, but he's definitely fumbling the ball as he's falling down. So I don't know if they're trying to determine whether or not he had control of the football. Looking at Brandon Fetterplace, who's 0.4 of a second behind Thomas Andrews. Nick Pressey still ahead of Matt Kent. This is a battle for the top 5. Noah Belleville sitting in 2nd. Aiden Norman at the top of the tree. 6 seconds the gap from the 1st to the 2nd position. Matt Kent following Nick Pressey diligently. Looks like he's going to get him this time around. Tristan Catania on the top side of the racetrack. Is that going to pose problems for somebody? Still reviewing that Vikings play, and I've got the volume off, so I have no idea what they're looking at. Mama Vols, maybe you could tell me if you're in the chat what they're trying to see. Pressy on the outside, Kent to the inside. Matt Kent gives it a big tail whip out of turn number 2, trying to control the horsepower in that race car. He's going to get right up in front of Pressy. Here comes Thomas Andrews with a mirror full of Brandon Fetter Place. Richie Catania in the distance. Pressy is on his way in on lap 85. He comes in at an extreme rate of speed, and that looks like it could be a speeding penalty for Nicholas Pressy. Aiden Norman continues to lead. Thomas Andrews sitting in 6th. Elrich George working on Tristan Catania still. These two fighting for 17th. Richie to the inside, the older of the two Catania brothers, losing control of that race car, but keeping it off the wall. And we were talking about a record earlier that no one can ever take away from Richie Catania. He won the first ever Thursday Night Thunder race. And I got to do more research on that because I'd love to know where, by how much, who else was there. He was talking about it a bit earlier today in practice, but one of these days I'm going to sit with Richie and I'm going to talk more about that. But definitely something that he's going to keep with him forever. The first ever TNT winner. Matt Kent sitting in 4th. Thomas Andrews in 5th. Cody McFadden coming down into the pits. Andrews to the inside of Kent. 87 laps underway of the scheduled 140, and Thomas Andrews makes extremely light work of Matthew Kent, and Brandon Fetterplace now looks to take advantage of the vulnerable pitcher. 31 tries to give a jab back to Andrews in that 2. Kent will send it in deep, but not quite deep enough, so Kent just running a bit shallow through the corner. Thomas Andrews will get deep enough onto the white line, getting a great run out of turn number 4, and the two-time champion now runs into 3rd. Matt Kent will now come down into the pits. He's had enough of that high-speed racing, tires and fuel for him. Race leader Aiden Norman is also in. Here comes the big-ass Dodge. Toby Estes, new leader. Noah Belleville right behind him, however. Belleville still has not come in, and the last time around, Belleville got right up to Norman and was able to challenge him for that lead. We'll see how close he gets this time through. Belleville running 9th while the pit stops cycle through. Aiden Norman on his way out of the pits as Jason Alexander decides to come in. Norman being ever so careful not to spin the car out of the pits. He does not get that damage fully repaired on the 6.2. Does not use that fast repair. And it's been a turnover from the Vikings to the Eagles. So it looks like Jefferson fumbled the ball into the end zone. And I have no idea how this works. Somebody's got to tell me how this works. Maybe if I had the volume up, I would have heard something. But in any case, it's going to be Eagles ball right before the end of the first half. They use a timeout there. There's about 30-some seconds to go. Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit talking about something. I got no idea. But, hey, there's a race going on, right? Noah Belleville is in that 5th position. Thomas Andrews decides he's going to come into the pits. Tom Sears has decided he's going to stay out. And if the math tells us anything, he's going to be in at approximately lap 99. And it will not be enough. The magic number for Sears to make it all the way on one more stop is going to be, what, 107? Maybe 105. No, it's going to be 107 because he can go approximately 33 laps, while Aiden Norman, he may have short pit this last time through. And let's have a listen and see if Sears is saving fuel. And that sound tells you everything. Sears is definitely saving all he can, trying to get a leg up on Aiden Norman. He almost had it work for him last week. Norman just too quick at Kentucky. 92 laps underway from the Lone Star State, and the two-time champion Tom Sears decides he will continue to stay out on the racetrack. He's got a 1-second gap back to Aiden Norman, who's about to overtake him. Sears can only gamble for a caution now. 94 out of 140 laps underway. Sears just gives it a wiggle, and he gets out of the way of Aiden Norman. Sears definitely has to stick to his fuel strategy now or abandon everything and come in. But certainly he's going to go a lap down at this pace. Jake Baker's in the pits. Noah Belleville sits in third. Tom Sears about to be overtaken. Here come the Catania brothers, nose to tail. Tristan in 18th, Richie in 20th. They continue to fight on. And car number 15, well ahead of Nick Pressey. Here's the gap. Unofficially there. 12 cars on the lead lap. Nick Pressey has Briley Wright all over his back end. Not for position. Briley in the 11th spot. Eagles and Vikings, excuse me. About to hit the half. 3rd and 6 here for the Eagles. We'll see if they'll try one last super play. Andrews goes green last time through. Cody Riggs decides he wants to pick up the pace as well. He's going to go green. Jalen Hurts running it out to the, the 46? And the Eagles, looks like they call a timeout, so they're probably going to go for a field goal here as Jalen Hurts. Yep, Elliott's coming onto the field. Hurts jogging off the field after a great run up the middle. So Eagles going to try and make it 13-7 before that first half. Jake Elliott 1 for 2 on the night. His first miss this season coming tonight. We'll see what he can do this time around. It's going to be a 61-yard field goal attempt. And these three are going to attempt not to wreck each other. And Eagles call one more timeout here. Nope, the Vikings do. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Eagles use their last timeout. Vikings call a timeout. 4 seconds remain in the first half. Toby Estes to the inside of McFadden. This is for 5th. And there goes Toby Estes to the inside of Cody McFadden. As predicted, Toby Estes into 4th, McFadden in 5th. Further on back, look at these cars getting wadded together. Richie in 20th, but here comes Nicky Simpson trying to get his younger brother, Tristan, for 17th. John Honeybrink also lurking in the distance. Cody McFadden has Matt Kent behind him. This is for that 6th spot. Kick is up. It has the distance. It's good. 61-yard field goal made by Jake Elliott. 13-7. Eagles going into the half. How do you like that? 61-yard field goal. Jake Elliott now 2 for 3 on the night. Toby Estes to the inside of Jason Alexander, just trying to make hay while the sun still shines in the Lone Star State, and you really could not get much closer than that. Huge field goal. Gotta love it. Nicky Simpson in that 46, trying to get to the inside of young Tristan Catania for 17th. He's got it. Tristan has to just let off the throttle to avoid getting into the wall. And we're inside of the final 40 laps of competition. Caution-free so far, if you've just tuned in. It has not been a single caution in tonight's race. Aiden Norman in the 6-2, 5 seconds ahead of Noah Belleville. Matt Kenton, that 31, coming up behind Cody McFadden in the 6-4. Got to give it up to McFadden, the rookie. He's up 11 places from where he started. There are the points brought to you by Drip Diecast and Collectibles. Coming into this race, Aiden Norman with an 8-point lead on Thomas Andrews. He continues to lead this race. Thomas Andrews currently running in 9th. Briley Wright comes into this race 3rd in points. Just 2 markers behind Andrews, and there he is in the position behind Andrews. Still lots to play for. And the rookie, Cody McFadden, who's running in 5th in this race, 4th in the points. That's going to be an excellent Rookie of the Year battle between McFadden and Fetter Place. There's McFadden in 5th, Fetter Place in 7th. So it's halftime in the Eagles-Vikings game, and if you just missed it, a 61-yard field goal make by Jake Baker ends the half, 13-7 Eagles. The other Jake we're talking about tonight, Jake Baker in that 17. About 2.5 seconds off of Jimmy Kerr in that 14th spot, while Cody McFadden continues to have no peace. Matthew Kent behind him, and Tom Sears will try to make light work of Matthew Kent, although Sears is in 13th, 2 laps off the pace. And I don't know about you, but it's definitely time for a tasty beverage. And that tasty beverage brought to you by the folks over at Drip Diecast and Collectibles. Honestly, if you like any of the paint schemes that you see tonight and you think, man, that paint scheme reminds me of this driver or that driver, Drip Diecast and Collectibles is the place to go. There is no greater store on Facebook to find just that nostalgic NASCAR memorabilia that you like. Make a great gift for a birthday or with the holidays just a few months away as well. Head on over to Drip Diecast and Collectibles on Facebook. Get your piece of NASCAR history, NASCAR memorabilia. Cars like this 29 of Briley Wright, even the 20 of John Honeybrink right here as well. You remember those Kevin Harvick and Tony Stewart cars. Elrich George running that Caterpillar Dodge. It wasn't 40 at the time, but that's the beauty of iRacing. Tommy Withers, a big Mark Martin fan. He's running that Mark Martin livery tonight. You can probably find this on Drip Diecast and Collectibles. Of course, Noah Belleville in that 15 Napa machine. Everybody remembers Michael Waltrip in that car. Something else you can find on Drip Diecast and Collectibles. Check them out on Facebook, your #1 Facebook store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. Belleville 6 seconds off the mark from Aiden Norman. Toby Estes 11 seconds off the mark from Noah Belleville. Brandon Fetter Place 0.3 of a second off of Matthew Kent. Let's go on board with the 34. Cody McFadden gets into the wall there. And just had a little bit of a reset there. Tried to get the proper numbers. There's Cody McFadden, 64, scraping up along that wall. And Jason Alexander gets a costume change mid-race, that 56. Now, actually, the 56 no longer showing the number 9. So a little bit of a fix. Seems like every week, there's always one thing that we just need to adjust. Just one little thing that goes wrong. But we soldier on, right? The show definitely continues. Hiccups or not, we make it to the checkered flag as best as we can. Aiden Norman continues to lead. There's Toby in that second spot. There was the second position, Noah Belleville. He decides to come in. That's going to be his last pit stop of the day if no cautions come out. So the Missouri native relinquishes the second position, and the race leader gives up first. And all of these drivers now going to get their laps back. And Aiden Norman brings his race car to a halt. Toby Estes is in, so that's going to put rookie Brandon Fetterplace temporarily in the lead. He last pitted on lap 89. Expect Brandon to come in around lap 119. If he does not pit early, 11 laps to go for Fetterplace, but he's going to really have to get a move on. Donald Ray decides he's not coming in yet. Thomas Andrews last pitted on lap 91. Aiden Norman coming back onto the racing surface, only in fourth. Still 13 cars, 1 lap down. Look at the gaps on the right-hand side there. Fetterplace continues to lead while the pit stops get sorted through. Jake Baker on the inside of Tommy Withers. This for the 10th spot. Baker gets into that top 10 with 25 laps to go. Caution-free used to be kind of a special thing in Thursday Night Thunder, but not so much. It's almost expected now. These drivers have done a brilliant job. Tommy Withers in that 6 now has Cody McFadden to his inside, and it's going to be a question of the haves versus the have-nots. Tommy Withers last pitted on lap 94. He can't make it to the end, and he's on the very end of his stint. So now the question has to be asked, do you gamble on a caution? Tristan Catania last pitted on lap 62. He's sitting in the 16th position. He's really trying to stretch it. Matthew Kent has to go to the inside. These guys just getting out of Tommy Withers' way out of that second corner. That could have been hairy. Let's see what happened with the 6. This is out of the second corner. Oh, a big slide for Withers. Struggles to hold it together out of 2, but he does so. Almost loses it out of 2 again. How about Matt Kent and Nick Pressey with heads-up moves to get out of Tommy Withers' way? And again, just incredible skill from some of these guys as Jimmy Kerr gets into the wall. Curse of the commentator. I'm talking about incredible skill on one end. Jimmy Kerr is in the wall on the other end. But these are really slippery race cars. These race cars are so much of a handful, but they look so much fun to drive. Jimmy Kerr in that 9th position. Jake Baker in 8th. Aiden Norman just overtakes Donald Ray for the lead. Jacket Ray hasn't come in since lap 87. Norman pitted on lap 112 and should be good to the end. Toby Estes sitting in 19th. Did he speed? That's going to be a big problem for Toby. Must have got a speeding penalty or something. Had to come back down again because he is 2 laps off the pace from Aiden Norman. There's Donald Ray. He's into the pits. Norman with an 11-second advantage to Cody Riggs. He's going to overtake Donald Ray for 3rd. And then there's Noah Belleville 5 seconds ahead in his Napa Chevrolet. Tommy Withers trying to get to the inside of Jimmy Kerr. This is for 11th. "21 cars started, 21 cars still running. John Honeybrink behind Nicky Simpson. And there's Nick Simpson. He gets really loose, gets right up into the wall. What happened to the 46? Simpson with a crash. We stay green. Moving incredibly slow. Simpson, does he try to move up into Honeybrink in the 20? Honeybrink makes it okay. Another look at Nick Simpson. He's already in the wall by this point. And watch Simpson. He might just turn right up into Honeybrink. Oh, he just might be trying to get out of Tom Sears' way as well, not thinking that John Honeybrink is there. Here's Simpson coming out of the pits. Let's try and be a bit more recent here. Simpson with a blink already. Simpson just came out of pit road blinking. Brand new shiny City Chevrolet down that back straight. Nick just loses control, flies right into the wall, and this is where it gets hairy. Simpson tries to get out of the way of Tom Sears. Comes down, he Sears. I think Honeybrink is coming high out of the corner. He sees Sears coming low. Nothing to do but stay in the middle. He makes it through okay. Nicky Simpson in 21st. Richie Catania in 20th. Aiden Norman, believe it or not, still in the race lead. And rookie Brandon Fetterplace, half a second ahead of two-time champion Tom Sears. We're approaching the final 15 laps of competition. Here comes Aiden Norman in the big-ass 62 on the outside of Tom Sears, and he's going to leave 6 cars on the lead lap. 17 laps remain at Texas. Big sideways drift for Aiden Norman, but he still holds on to that race car. 12.5 seconds beyond Norman. Noah Belleville in second. Cody McFadden, the rookie Cody McFadden, in third. Tommy Withers, Jake Baker still have yet to pit. Nick Simpson, is he coming in? Tommy Withers also might be trying to come in. Simpson back out onto the racetrack. He's going to grind alongside of the wall. Withers makes it through. Jake Baker stays out, and here comes Thomas Andrews on board now with the New Jersey pilot. And that's a successful pass for the 8th spot. Eagles and Vikings about to get back into action. 13-7 the score. And Norman 13 seconds ahead of the competition. Yet again, Norman just putting in a masterclass here. It should, for all intents and purposes, with lucky number 13 laps about to be remaining, it should be straightforward for Aiden Norman, and it should be his 3rd win of the season. He got the season opener at Phoenix. He won last week in the Bluegrass state of Kentucky, and he's looking to pick up a W in the Lone Star state as well, the number 62, with another 13 laps to victory. Fetterplace, 0.8 of a second behind Nick Pressian over the last 5 laps. This has been the gap. Almost 0.4 quicker last time around, but then Thomas Andrews half a second quicker than Brandon Fetterplace. This time around, the clock says Fetterplace just marching closer to Pressy. Eagles will open up the Vikings. Damn it, I keep messing that up. Vikings will open up the second half with a 5-yard run. It's going to be second, or a 1-yard run, because I can't tell what I'm doing. It's going to be 2nd and 9 to start off the second half here. Toby Estes just ahead of Brandon Fetterplace, but this isn't for position. Toby had to pick up some sort of something because he's sitting 11th at the moment. Donald Ray sitting in 8th. There's the battle right there. Fetterplace gets around Estes. It gets just a bit hairy now. Drivers trying to hold on to it. Here comes Cody. Riggs on the move. He's trying to get around Toby Estes. These two Bluegrass Bandits battling for 11th. They're going to give each other some room. And it's a fumble by the Vikings and a recovery by the Eagles. Sweat, number 94, on the Eagles. Recovers the football. They strip it out of Kirk Cousins' hands. Another fumble forced by Sweat. And the Eagles will have the ball on the Vikings 6. 9 laps to go in this race. John Honeybrink tags the wall out of turn number 2. He keeps it pushing. Cody Riggs, 9/10 ahead of Toby Estes. Donald Ray, Thomas Andrews will battle side by side. It will be 2nd and goal for the Eagles with 14 minutes to go in the third quarter. Ray on the outside of Andrews. Well, not quite yet. Andrews couldn't quite find the gap and open up the hole. 2/10 between them. 2nd and goal on the 1-yard line. Looks like Jalen Hurts might sneak it in one more time. And that ball definitely crossed the plane of goal. It's another Eagles touchdown and another Jalen Hurts sneak for 6 more points. 19-7 with the extra point looming in the distance. 13 or so minutes remaining in this third quarter. Thomas Andrews now watching Donald Ray sail off into the distance. The Exalta Chevrolet 3/4 of a second ahead of the TNT Dodge. Tristan Catania to the inside of John Honeybrink. This is for 17th. Catania 3/10 ahead of Honeybrink. Briley Wright gives it a bit of a shake out of turn number 2. He sits just a second ahead of Tom Sears. Extra point is good. The score is now 20-7. Philadelphia on Minnesota. Jake Baker on the outside of Briley Wright. Not for position. Jake is running in 14th. Cody Riggs in 11th. Matt Kent just on the fringes of the top 3, but Brandon Fetterplace starts to close him up. This is the gap over the last 5 laps, coming to 5 laps to go. Warp Lotus in the chat. Welcome to Rick James TV once again. Warp, it's been quite a while with some Hype City emojis in there. Brandon Fetterplace now trying to get a bit closer to Matt Kent. 4/10 now the gap with 5 laps remaining now. Vikings will have the ball again with just around 13 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Again, Vikings getting the ball to start the second half. Ball stripped from Kirk Cousins' hands. Recovered by the Eagles' defense. And Jalen Hurts with another 1-yard sneak in for the touchdown, 20-7. Eagles leading on top of the Vikings. Matt Kent, 1/10 of a second ahead of Brandon Fetterplace, now with 4 going on 3 laps remaining. Fetterplace opens up the door on Kent. Kent just tries to stay off the wall. Fetterplace with the run. Kent with the position. And the rookie Fetterplace will send it deep all the way down to the white line. Kent gives him plenty of room. He comes down trying to get a great run out of turn number 4. Fetterplace just cuts off the advance. And with 3 laps remaining, Brandon Fetterplace moves into 4th around Matt Kent. And the Rookie of the Year battle just gets a little bit hotter now. 3 seconds between these 2 rookies. Warp Lotus saying that is a textbook pass. Textbook indeed. Aiden Norman on the outside of Jason Alexander. Norman looking to put Jaco another lap down. Two laps now remain. 3 miles for the defending Thursday Night Thunder champion. Matt Kent watching Brandon Fetterplace just open up the gap ever so slightly. Here comes Toby Estes working on Tom Sears. Estes has a great run out of turn number 2 to the inside, and that Bluegrass Bandit will take 11th place away from Tom Sears. Miss Moneypenny cheering on Aiden in the chat. Eagles and Vikings about to get underway again. Elridge George sneaking up to John Honeybrink for the 18th position. George now within 4/10. Norman just collects the white flag, and it's a 1.5 miles to go for the pilot of the 62. Noah Belleville, 12 seconds adrift of Norman. And so unless it goes terribly wrong in this next 3/4 of a mile for Norman, it's going to be textbook for him as well. Through 3 and 4, he'll be the first 3-time winner this season, and he does it in the biggest of all fashions at Texas. Aiden Norman wins round 5. Tom Sears, half a second behind Jason Alexander, will collect the flag. John Honeybrink will be overtaken by Elrich George just at the very end. Have a look. George on the outside doing it the hard way around John Honeybrink. He gets the move done. And these two with a little bit of collision at the end. There's Belleville. There's Norman. Nick Simpson coming around the outside to congratulate Aiden Norman. It is his 3rd win of the season. And the pride of Dobson, North Carolina, will celebrate once again. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to have top 3 on the podium in just a moment. Your winner tonight at Texas, Aiden Norman. On the podium now with our top 3, starting with Cody McFadden. For those of you following for that Eagles game, they're up 20-7 with just over 12 minutes to go in that 3rd quarter. It's going to be 2nd and 9 for the Eagles, now marching on the Vikings side of the field. Cody McFadden, bronze medal tonight. The Rookie of the Year battle starts to tip in your favor ever so slightly. You're kind of setting the league on fire your first year, kid.
I appreciate it. It's a fun league, and I was actually just happy to make it tonight. I didn't think I was going to make it home, so happy we made it and got those couple laps of qualifying and was able to put it on the podium.
You now have a tie for the 3rd place in points with Briley Wright, and next week, Watkins Glen on the schedule. Congratulations on bronze, Cody. We'll see you in a week.
Thank you.
2nd place, Noah Belleville, and he's been here before. Noah, you had a chance to be the first 3-time winner this season, but Aiden just beat you to it by about 12 seconds and then some, but still a great run nonetheless. Noah Belleville, are you even there?
Oh, sorry, my mic was muted.
Anyway, Aiden beat you by 12 seconds. Your thoughts, Noah? Well, hang on just a second. Eagles scored another massive touchdown, 26-7. Now, just getting into the 3rd quarter, Noah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't really have much for Aiden. Not too big fan of tracks that race really tight on the long run, so I didn't really think I would get Aiden, but especially after the spin, I'm lucky to get a P2.
silver medal for you tonight. Next week at Watkins Glen, we all know that the road courses favor Norman, but what are you going to have for him there?
Nothing.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Congratulations on second. We'll see you in a week.
Yep.
Our Drip Diecast and Collectibles winning interview brought to you by Drip Diecast and Collectibles. Head on over there to their Facebook store. Check out all the awesome NASCAR memorabilia they have, from diecasts to just other. Aiden, I have no idea. What do they have? You've been on that website. I keep mentioning the Dale Earnhardt gas pump that they had there, but they genuinely just have more than just cars. All sorts of just nostalgic NASCAR memorabilia over on Drip Diecast and Collectibles. But Aiden, you've got the win. You did it in quite fashionable style. Next week at Watkins Glen, everybody expects you to dominate. Are we going to see what everybody expects?
I hope so. I mean, Watkins Glen, I love that track. I don't think I've lost a league race there yet, which now that I say that, I'm totally jinxed and I'm going to end up disconnecting on the last lap or something.
Yeah, right.
Y'all can only hope, right? No, I'm looking forward to it. I think I'll have a good car there as always, and hopefully it'll be just a nice cruise around for me.
Headed into Watkins Glen, you're going to have a 21-point lead on the Season 4 champion, Thomas Andrews. Congratulations on that win tonight.
Thank you, Rick.
Fans at home, another TNT chapter in the books. Monday night, ENEA continues. You're going to see drivers like Jake Baker, drivers like Nick Simpson and Cody McFadden wrestle the next-gen cars around the Nashville Super Speedway, and then right here on Rick James TV in a week, the Gen 4 cars at Watkins Glen. So do not miss that race. And, of course, we're going to be talking more football Monday night and next Thursday night as well. And until that next race, everybody please stay safe. Do take care of each other.